Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back with another YouTube video, and in today's video, we're gonna be doing let's talk about Spawn. So, yeah, in this video, I'm gonna be kind of doing a let's talk about him. I'm gonna kind of be talking about his character, going to a character analysis, as well as talking a bit about his origin and everything. Uh, but anyways, yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, Spawn definitely, personally, in my personal opinion, probably one of the better really good written characters in my opinion. I think he's a really cool character. For one, it kind of his character story and stuff backs him up to being a really cool kind of character here. I use the word character in the forum just because uh, I'll kind of speak about that afterwards. There's a reason I'm not using superhero or anti-hero or anything like that, or villain or anything like that. I'm specifically saying character on purpose, just because there's something going on there which I will speak about just now. But anyways, let's get into it. So yeah, recently I've been watching and also reading a lot of Spawn based things. For example, the Todd McFarlane Spawn animated show, and I've also read a few of his comics. And I gotta say, he's definitely really up there in terms of writing. Like personally, he's probably one of my favorite darker characters in all of comics. I'm not saying just like Marvel and DC, Image Comics, like basically everything. That's another thing. That brings me to another thing as well. This character is written by Image Comics. I know this is important to know because I know a lot of people think he's DC, just because he tends to be in more Warner Brothers stuff. And as you know, Warner Brothers kind of runs DC basically, and I know he's kind of with that in terms of he's got a show and stuff like that on there, as well as like he's in the Mortal Kombat 11 game. That's another thing too. He's been gotten a lot of attention from that too. Uh, but yeah, he is an Image Comics character, and I gotta say He's probably the best one out of all of them. I think he's really good. Uh, let's go and start off with his origin and also why I call him character and not just supervillain or sorry, not supervillain, superhero, anti-hero, any of that. Now I want to just say this right off the bat. If you're curious and wanting to get to know the Spawn character, and you're curious to kind of see his character and like just want to see a bit of his character, but you don't want to read the comics, highly recommend reading. Watching Todd McFarlane's Spawn. It's a TV show, animated TV show. And I definitely think it's an interesting show. Just a quick warning too. It's Spawn is one of those characters that is very much for a mature audience. I'm gonna say this right off the bat. He's not very appropriate if you're like squeamish to some kind of blood or gore or something like that. As well as he curses a lot. Uh, in the TV show, there's a bit of nudity as well. I might as well say that too. There's a bit of nudity, uh, somewhat severe. Yeah, I'll say that. So that's important to note as well. And again, his character is not for squeamish people. I want to just fully well blown say that this character is not for squeamish people. So if you're one of those people that's squeamish to like gore or something, or you don't want to see stuff from hell or nothing, because that's another thing with this character. His origin has ties with hell in the sense that he's originally called Hell Spawn, but I mean he's not into like devil things or nothing like that. I want to say that too. It's just more he like battles like demons and stuff like that. So that's one thing as well. If you're squeamish to that kind of stuff or you don't want to see that kind of stuff, definitely recommend not watching Spawn or reading. Maybe just listening to this video if you're just curious, honestly. But anyways, let's get into his origin. So his origin is basically he was an assassin going by the name Al Simmons. Basically, he was trapped. Like he was basically tricked, and he ended up dying, and he was sent to hell. And basically, in hell, Demon made a deal with him to basically send him back to Earth because he wanted to be with his wife. His wife, basically. Uh, yeah, he wanted to be with his wife, but he felt like it was too short and stuff like that. So he decided, let's go back And let's go back as Hell Spawn. So basically, he comes back as Spawn, as he basically looks around the shadows. He kind of like he's like watching his wife, who's now remarried and everything, has a daughter. Uh, One thing I can't remember exactly right now is if is that's his daughter or that's her new husband's daughter. I just can't remember right now. Uh, but yeah, he sees all that and that kind of motivates him. He Now this kind of ties into why I call him like a comics character instead of superhero or anti-hero. Is the fact that he's first of all he'll never be called a superhero. I want to say that right away. He'll never. It's just the way he is. He's not a superhero. I gotta say that. Uh, he of course he brutally murders people. There's no like shy away from that. He brutally murders people. He severely like brutally injures people as well. He also just turns a blind eye when someone's in trouble. That's one thing that shifts him away again from anti-hero as well. Like he more so, he has a eye to be helping people and stuff like that. And like if you necessarily need help or something like that, he'll be there. I mean, if you ask them or something like that, he'll most probably be there. But I mean, at the same time, it's not that he's selfish. It's more so he has no reason kind of thing, and he honestly just has no care for anything, except for his of course his I don't even know if he classifies his wife, but his old wife, I guess, ex-wife, and your family basically, and for the ones he cares about essentially. So that's one thing as well. That's why I kind of don't call him any of that, just because of the way he acts and stuff like that. And of course, he's not a villain because he's never really terrorized anybody. In the fact that he's like terrorizing people or something like that, he's terrorized like, of course, like villains or whatnot, but that's a different story. But not in like no villainous way or anything like that. So that's interesting. Now let's dive into character analysis. Now I gotta say again, Spawn is definitely really well written. Again, he's like basically like a guy with supernatural powers in and he basically is just trying to better himself and stuff like that and protect the people and fight the forces of hell, I guess you would say. Uh, that's another thing as well. Uh, I mean, in all honesty, in terms of if you would like this character, I'm gonna say this right off the bat. If you don't really like Supernatural, I definitely say advise you get off. This is not like a really good character for you, because again, he deals with a lot of supernatural and stuff like that. So it does make it more of a sense in another genre and whatnot. But I mean, in terms of like being well written, I think he's pretty well written in the sense that he's got that character layer when you're like you kind of feel for him because he's always like, no, my wife and all that. Uh, and like his wife, you even see like you almost get like a kind of like a monster vibe from him in the sense that like you feel bad for him because he's like it's like some next Beauty and the Beast where he's just trying to find his wife and everything. And then when he does find his wife for most of the part, his wife is usually like scared of him and everything, so that's just not good as well. So that's another thing too. But I mean, this character is pretty well written in that sense. I mean, he does like do some solid justice though. I must say, like I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think his character development's pretty good for the most part. I mean, he starts off as like a I don't really give a shit about anything character, and then he turns into more of like, yeah, I could see how that's a big problem. Like eventually he stops uh people I will not I kind of don't want to say on camera kind of people, well, very bad people, I'll just say that. uh and he like kills them and stuff like that, which of course is not too good. I mean, I'm not gonna get into my stance on that, but I mean, again, like he's kind of stopping crime as well, so he's transitioning more into superhero slash anti-hero. I think the official classman placement for him is like anti-hero, but personally I just consider him like a character. Honestly, I already kind of explained why I consider him like that, just because of that whole thing. But I mean, over the years he's definitely gotten even better. I know for a fact his popularity used to be around a lot in the 90s. I know that for a fact. He was very popular during that time. and I believe he's getting a new movie starring Jamie Foxx, which is pretty interesting. I'm not too sure when that movie's coming out, but I'll definitely check it out if it comes out. Of course, Spawn doesn't have the best track record when it comes to media. I mean, that Spawn movie he had wasn't too good. But I mean, the animated show was definitely an interesting stuff. I mean, it's a little bit of hit or miss with certain people, but personally, myself, I do like it. I think it's pretty enjoyable. But anyways, that's pretty much it though. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.